This is Cinema.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And we just played Maracaibo and wanted to share with you our first impressions.
So we played it with 2 and 3 players now.
Yes.
And I got a first impression of Maracaibo by Alexander Pfister.
Yeah, so this is like the hottest game on Board Game Geek right now.
Yeah.
And one of the games we were really excited to bring home from Spiel and play. So we just jumped right through it and played 2 times yesterday.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
At first, it was learning the rules and setting up the game and getting because there's a lot of symbols in this game.
Yeah.
It took a long time.
It took about an hour to set up the game and teach the rules.
Yeah.
So the rulebook, let's take a look at the rulebook because people like rulebooks, and setup time was about 15 minutes, I think, the first time.
It took a little long in the first.
Because I did most of it because I didn't know the setup. So usually when I do setups the first time, I just read the setup rules. If there's something I can delegate, I do it, but I do most of it myself. But the second time I set it up, it was a lot quicker, and I think it's going to be easier to set up after that. So this is a huge rule book. This is a rule book, 24 pages of rules. There's a lot to go through here. I wouldn't say this is the best rule book I've read. There is, as Sunna said, there's so many symbols in the game, and they're kind of vague. Like some symbols are used one way and some symbols are used the other way. Like, for example, you have a green hand, like you have, for example, in Great Western Trail, which also is a game from Alexander Pfister, where you should get something. And that is here in some cases. But some cases where you get something, there's not a green hand. So you just have to remember what every symbol does. But after you play the game a time, how is the symbol second time?
Yeah, I think it feels kind of like learning the symbols for Race for the Galaxy. First time you play it is overwhelming, but the second time around everything makes sense. You kind of want to check, like, there's a player aid with some of the symbols on the card, so that's nice. You're still going back for them a little bit, but the symbols are making sense when you know how the game works.
I agree with that. What I would have liked to have in this game is just like the player aid. The back of that is not really helpful. Like I would have liked just a list of all the symbols. That would be a lot more helpful, just to be able to turn it around and see, okay, that symbol means get that or do that, which you won't need after a couple of games, but it would make learning the rules the first time and playing the first time easier. I think it's important to have fun the first time you play. For us, it isn't like we're used to get through these kind of things, and for me as well, when I teach again the first time, it's a lot harder to teach it. So that also makes it take a long time to play. But the second time we played, it went a lot smoother because I had taught it already. So just some things to put in the games that makes it easier to teach the first time would be, or the first couple of times, or the new players would make it even better, like the production and the rules.
Yeah, but what is the game about? Could you just give them a short overview?
So in this game, you are racing around the track. You're not really racing. You have this board here, which I'm going to show you. Boom, maybe we have a picture of it as well. You have this board, and there's a map here of Maracaibo. It's over here. No, it's over here. Maracaibo is over here. So what you are doing, this is basically a one-way street. You have a ship, which you can move 1 to 7 places. 1 to 7 spaces, and then you can do an action on that space depending on what kind of space you land on. If you have some, you can later in game get assistants out, which has special abilities for you for special spaces. You can move into a city to trade, to upgrade your ship, which you do removing disc, a lot like you do in Great Western Trail. And the round is going to end when one person is going all the way around. So it basically, like, you can go slowly and do all the actions, but then somebody's going to end the round. So if there's something you want to do at the end of the map, then you might want to jump ahead to be able to do that before the round ends. So what you're trying to do is basically moving around, doing actions. The actions will let you get combat points, fight with different nations. There's France, Spain, and England. And you will be able to fight with them to get a majority and get ownership of different islands so that they will score more points. You will get influence with them. Then you will play a lot of cards, which are called project cards, which will give you points, it will give you income, it will give you different special abilities. And that's basically what you're doing. You're moving around, playing cards both as resources to trade them to upgrade your ship. Because on the ship there's 12 different upgrades, so a lot to keep track on in the beginning. And you try to upgrade that to build your engine to be able to do better actions to score more points.
Yeah, So I got a good first impression of the game.
Yes.
It's a lot to like Great Western Trail. I like the feel of it, but it's a totally different game.
Yes.
At the same time, so I like the multi-use cards.
Yeah.
I really like those, and I feel like the cards are a big part of the game, like in Great Western Trail. But not everything you do is revolved around those cards.
The game really feels like it is kind of a mix between Great Western Trail and Mombasa and put together into a new package.
Yeah.
Because what I like here is that you have the cards, the project cards, which are both instant effects, income effects, but also the assistant, which feels a lot like the buildings from Great Western Trail.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I also like the look of it much better now than the pictures I saw online. They look like the green islands look like really green. But after playing the game 2 times now, I like the feel of it. I like the look of it.
Yeah, I like the artwork on the cards, especially. I think the board is kind of... It feels like it's old. I still feel like it's like looks like an older Euro game. Doesn't bother me too much because we don't really mind that. But if you are like huge into artwork, you might open it and be like, what? Yeah. What this looks like. But so okay. We have kind of explained it, but is it fun? Is it good? That's like the most important thing about the first impression.
Yeah, first time we played it, it was a little overwhelming because we were still like, oh, that symbol, okay. But the second time I played it, it was pure fun. I had so much fun with it, and I like when the game gives me that sort of feeling that I just want to play it again.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love this game. Like, if we had the pile of 60 games or whatever to play, I would just like to play that every day because it was so much fun. One of those, like we have spoken about this before, that feeling I get inside when I play a game is super fun. And usually I get that just like in the beginning of the game. Like when I play a game, of the 10 minutes, I'll be like, this is a great game. This is a game that really speaks to me and a game that I want to have in my life. And this is one of those games. If this doesn't end up the top 10 of this year, I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to be happy because there's going to be 10 even more awesome games. But I think this might be the best game I played this year. There are lots of good games we played, and I might have to look back and don't like quote me on this. Yeah. But I have to look back and see it and remember the experiences. But this was one of the first times this year that I got this is amazing experience.
Yeah, just like, this is fun, give me more. And I feel like it wasn't... I'm trying to like think of some negatives to say as well, because I don't know, we can't say anything about replayability and stuff like that
but
yet.
Yeah, kind of we can, because there is a campaign game, which we didn't know, but we can talk about that, but continue.
Yeah, but I feel, and I'm just like, how many different strategies are there?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's kind of, if you like Great Western Trail and you like Mombasa, it isn't the same game, but I think you will enjoy this as well, because it's in the same range of complexity and the same range of stuff you can do and stuff you can achieve, I think.
I think this is a bit more complex than Great Western Trail just because of all the symbols, all of the things you have to remember what does this do, what does this do.
It's not that punishing, and I really love that. I love the changes that Alexander has done on the one-way street. Yeah. That only one gets to go to the end and then you reset. Yeah. And it's not like going to the end that's not important. What you're doing on the way that counts. And when you go to the end, you get points. You're not like, oh, I got just bad cows, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going, So I like that. It allows the players to focus on the journey more than the goal. I don't know. Yeah,
I really like what you said there, because it's not like the last spaces are better than the first one. It's only like the last action space is an exploration / combat, which is one of the actions that is kind of hard to do. There's only 2 spaces for each of them, so if you don't have special abilities to make you do that again, it's hard to do those. So if you are focusing on one of those, you might want to race to the end. But probably there might be, like, if you have assistants out, it would be better just to do those assist actions or jump over them to get some bonus points, and then you will be able to plan your round, like, and if you see somebody rushing, you might say, okay, I might just have 2 more actions, which are the most important. I like that. And also, like, if you see that somebody's going not for assistance, like you didn't go for assistance at all last night, and me and the other player had like 3-4 assistants at the beginning, you could basically jump those spaces and rush us into not be able to do every single action, because that would be too good for us as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of also mitigates that if somebody goes out for because there is some luck in the game, like because there's card drawing, but you can choose. I like that. When you at the end of the round, you have 4 cards in your hand. You can at the end of the round, if you have fewer than 4, you draw more cards, and you can draw blind from the deck, or you can pay a coin or a doubloon to buy one of the cards that's out there. And I really love that, because you have that choice of, do I just want to take the random card, or I really want that one? Then I have to pay an extra coin to get it.
Yeah, don't take the random cards.
If you need something, don't take the random cards. But I think I didn't feel, even though there is like some randomness in that and also some randomness in the combat tiles, I didn't feel like the luck was really high here.
No, that's the only luck that's in the game, so that makes it better. I got a little bad experience from the combat, but I had 2 really horrible combats the first time we played it. Yeah. And my strategy kind of depended on those combat tiles. And when you do so few during the game, that could be a bit of a setback. But I think that is the most balanced thing to do, because combat is also really powerful.
I think basically like the reason that I think the combat is the most random, because you're getting so many cards throughout the game that it doesn't really end up being a problem. Like the luck of the draw is not going to be a problem, because you can use the cards as a resource, an object, or the actual card.
And if you're dependent on one card, you're playing a bad game.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like it's more like you can have strategies, but then you have to like, okay, I got this card, maybe I want to do that now. You can kind of change your strategy pretty simply, which I think is really good.
Yes.
So yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, I'm pretty happy with the first impression of it. I'm looking forward to playing it again. If you haven't looked at it, I think you should. This is an amazing game, I think. I hope this is gonna be one of the top games for me this year. I think it will. Yeah. So I'm pretty pleased with us picking up Edison.
So yeah, there's one thing we have to talk about, the campaign.
Yeah, we have
because I didn't know it was a campaign. And opening it up, it's like, hey, this is a campaign. I'm like, what?
What does that mean?
Every game has to be a campaign now. Like it feels like that. It feels like every single game has to be a campaign. Alexander Fisher had 2 new games this year. Expedition to New Dale, Maracaibo, both are campaigns. The one I did know, the one I didn't know. You can play it as this without a campaign, so don't worry. But what it does is basically have a story. There's not a story. It's just like in most of these games, they're scenario based. So, but when you do the quest, because you can do quests to pay things, to get bonuses. When you do that, where that has to do with the story card, the story will advance. That might change the board. It might put some new tiles on there that changes one of the locations, that changes that, and that will be ongoing through the game. So far, I really like those changes, because it just changes the game a tiny bit. Doesn't matter, like if new players come in, it's not like a legacy game, so you'll have to play it 1-on-1. It's just like it just continues. So you might be in chapter 2 after 2 games or after 3 games, depending on what happens. So it's not like you play through that amount of games, and it changes are so few that you can explain them to anybody. It's just like, oh, this space is different now, or this is harder to move through here and stuff like that, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and it gives you choices as well to how to advance in the story, and it feels like you yourself are deciding what changes are made to the board. And I like the changes in the gameplay. I don't care about for the story, but I think it's a nice little addition.
Yeah, it changes up the game, makes replayability even harder, because higher, not harder, higher because harder it will be different when you play.
Yes.
So yeah, this game is amazing. I love it. I think this might be, as I said, one of the best games I played this year. It is so much fun. Like, just the excitement level is through the roof with this one. Cannot wait to play it again. Yeah. Anything you want to add?
No, I'm good.
So that's the end of the first impressions from Maracaibo. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Right now, it's free. Press the bell button to get notifications. That's the end. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
And I'm Sudama.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.